and welcome back to another episode of Cooking for the Yum of It. I am your host, Wesley Foreman, and today I am going to be preparing carrots braised in butter, which will be a side dish to a simple pork chop with an easy herb rub. So, let's get started. Now that my carrots are all cleaned and peeled, we take off the stem end and the little bitty tip. Now we're going to cut these. This is a new cutting board I got. It lets you be very precise with your cutting. You can do fine julienne, filet brunoise, julienne cut, alimente, bâtonnet cut, a small dice, medium dice, large dice. This also gives you all the measurements as far as inches and whatnot, for those who like to be extremely precise in their cutting and their cooking. I'm going to be using the large dice. Don't ask me to pronounce it. Carré, I think it is. My French is not my strong suit. And we're going to be cutting this on the bias, which is a little diagonal. Alternating left and right. And once we've cut the carrot, we'll be putting them in our little saucepan here. Now it's a lot to watch me just cut carrots, so we're going to skip ahead to when all the carrots are done. Now, one of the reasons I like this particular carrot recipe so much is that it is so completely simple. You just take your carrots, a cup and a half of water, a combination of granulated sugar, although I'm using Splenda, some salt and pepper, mix that in there, get that twisted about, and 1.5 tablespoons of butter. Butter does make just about anything better. Butter makes it better. And you place on the lid, and you bring it up to a temperature. I'm going to go between 7 and 8 for what's called a slow boil. And we're going to let that boil for about 30 minutes or until all of the moisture has been evaporated. To help with that, one of the things is you don't want to seal it too tightly. There's a little bitty vent right here on the... It'd be easier if I show you this way. Just give it a little bitty vent so that the steam can escape, because what you want to do is you cook, like I said, for 30 minutes or until all of the moisture has been evaporated. Once that's done, your carrots are good to go. Now, as I said, I'm going to be making a pork chop with a simple herb rub to go with the carrots. First, you want to, of course, dry the meat. You do not want to cook wet meat. We do not want your wet meat to be wet. Now, this seasoning blend I'm using was given to me as a Christmas gift by one of my fellow members of the Sacramento Gay Men's Chorus from Williams-Sonoma. It is an organic pizza spice blend, pizza seasoning. I tried this once before with a simple herb rub, and it came out really well. So if you can get to a Williams-Sonoma, I recommend this. We just take half a teaspoon on one side, rub it into our meat, and we flip it over, and we add another half teaspoon to the other side, and again we rub that into our meat so the flavor gets in there. Then we put it in our baking dish lined with tin foil to make it easier for cleanup. And then as soon as the oven is reached 425 degrees, we will be popping that in for about 20 minutes. Okay, we're still waiting. Oh, careful. As you can see, the carrots have come to this boil I mentioned. And those are going to cook for 30 minutes or until all of the water, the moisture, has been evaporated. After that, we go on to our next step. If, however, you think that it is boiling too quickly, lower the temperature, which is something I just did, from about 7.5 down to 7. You need to always regulate the temperature if necessary, but so far it's still going pretty good. And now I'm just waiting for the oven to preheat. And now the oven has reached 425 degrees. We put our pork chop in, and it'll be ready in 20 minutes, which will be about 4 minutes faster than the carrots, but that's okay. You can keep it warm with the oven and the heat from the burner. You can keep it warm if you leave it in the baking dish. We'll cover it with some extra foil. I'll leave it on top of the stove. The heat, ambient heat, will help keep it warm without drying out the pork chop. In the meantime, we can take a look at how our carrots are doing. As you can see, things are getting good. We've got another 23 minutes, give or take, and we're done. Okay, our carrots are just about done. I'm going to turn off the heat. And now to finish it off, we're going to add another 2 tablespoons of butter. Spread that around so the butter has a chance to melt. Now, you need to keep it, when you're doing this, you need to keep an eye on it, because although it says 30 minutes, it also says or until all the moisture has been evaporated, which happened a little less than 30 minutes this time. And we're going to add 1 tablespoon of dried parsley. Get that going. But this works out well because the carrots will stay warm for a lot longer than a pork chop would. Now we're going to put the cover back on, and as soon as the pork chop is ready, I'll have my dinner. Okay, everything seems to be ready. We have our pork chop. Let me move this out of the way. And our carrots braised in butter. So nice and steamy hot. I like carrots. They're one of my favorite vegetables. I remember when I was a kid thinking they would give me magic vision so I could see in the dark. At least that's what my grandparents told me. Oh, sorry about that. Don't worry, nothing broke. And now, the part I like best, I get to eat. This really is my favorite part. I think I like eating more than anything, just about anything else in the world. Oh. That's some good carrots. So there you have it. Carrots braised in butter with a little bit of parsley and, well, the full recipe, the ingredients are down below. Anyway. I hope you enjoyed this episode. As always, please remember to like, subscribe, and if you want, please feel free to leave a comment down below. I am Wesley Foreman, and always remember, eat and enjoy.